everyone. Welcome to the Nexo AMA for April 2024. It's very exciting to have you here today. As you know, this AMA is our longer form AMA following our whole revamp where we'll have short sessions that last 5-6 minutes every month, and then every quarter we'll have one longer session. Since last month, which was the end of a quarter, we did a short session just to kind of test run that. Right now we're having the long form AMA. So I'm really happy to kickstart that today. I know it's our first time that we'll ever have a community guest on the AMA, so it's going to be great. Our guest is coming on a little bit later. First, we'll start off with the Slido questions. So yeah, getting right into the questions, let's start. The first topic I really wanted to address was our asset listings and networks. So a lot of you had so many questions about various assets. Are you going to list this? Are you going to list that? What about integrating this network? Fabulous questions. I know why you're asking, and I'm happy that you're asking. Well, let's start with what we've listed already in case we listed it between the time that you asked and the time that you're actually watching this AMA. So recently we listed quite a few assets. We have TON, we have Pendle, Athena, for which we also added 13% interest per annum so far. This was very recent. This was like last week, so check that out. We've also got Wormhole, otherwise known as just W, Sheeb, Ondo, Say. There's a whole bunch. Those are just a few, so if you were hoping for those assets, they're now available. As for like some other assets that you asked, specifically, somebody asked for a Froggy style meme coin. Meme coins are in the roadmap for us, especially a certain one. So really be on the lookout for that one. It's coming. Really glad to have that said for you. And then the other kind of asset group within listings that you kept asking about were AI coins and AI tokens. I totally get why you would say that. AI is a hot topic right now, and it's going to be a hot listing for you soon in the AI coin department, including one that you asked for in the Slido questions for the AMA. So there's a teaser for you. If you're the person who asked one of the questions for AI coins, it might just be your assets that's coming right up. So moving on from there, there were about 4 questions about integrating the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And I'm really happy to say actually that so I do read all your questions, which is why I know that there was exactly 4. But I'm really happy to say that we're working on an in-house implementation of the Bitcoin Lightning Network. The reason we're doing that is because we really want it to be customized for our operational needs, and then that would give you guys a really seamless, perfect integration. So yeah, it's coming. It is going to take a little longer because we're doing it in-house, but that's my update on that topic. So I hope that covers assets and networks. And I think we can move on to our second topic. So the second one is Nexo's services in various jurisdictions. There were so many questions of, is this asset available in my country? Is, this service available in my country? And since there's so many countries, like I can't possibly cover all like 180 something or 90 something of them. How many countries were there again? I'm going to kind of give you a really holistic approach to this. So on the availability side, what you can do to immediately find out if an asset is available for you or a service is available to you is just go to the Nexo app. And if it's an asset, you can just search in the wallet for that asset. And if it pops up, it's available to you. So it's absolutely a really, really quick way to immediately find out what's available from Nexo for your specific country and in your specific case. So what I want to note here, though, is that we recently, I'm happy to say, broadened the new asset listings availability. So if we had some asset listings that weren't available in your country recently, it might be worth to check the Nexo app again because they may be now. So yeah, that's a little tip for you there. And then finally, I know that some people aren't necessarily comfortable figuring a lot of this stuff out on their own. And I really encourage those people to reach out to the Nexo Angels on Twitter or to our Telegram groups, and then the Angels or our moderators will help you find out for your specific jurisdiction what is and what isn't available. So there is help on the way if you need it, but the fastest way, fast track, Nexo app all the way. So that's it for people asking about what's available in their country. And now for our third topic before our community guest. So this was obviously a big one. We introduced some updates to our repayment fees and to our new borrowing rates, which a lot of you guys asked about, and I'm here to address that. A lot of the questions were why we adjusted these fees and rates. And I just first want to start with saying that these are two separate occasions. So we introduced new borrowing rates a little bit before the repayment fees, and these were clearly communicated via email, and you had a month's notice before they actually come into play. So I just wanted to flag that for people first. And then from then on, why we introduced these changes is really connected to the macroeconomic environment, right? So inflation rates currently remain stubbornly high. In 2021, if interest rates were close to 0%, today in 2024, it's a very different situation. Like we've experienced multiple consecutive rate hikes. And, that really drives demand for crypto-backed loans, which is, Nexo's bread and butter, our specialty. And kind of to top that off, when the Bitcoin ETFs were approved, we had even more demand. So to cater to that demand, we have to take these measures. And I think it's ultimately about really ensuring competitive and sustainable solutions so that you guys can keep using Nexo and we can keep being here for you. So that's the basically rationale. It's because people are looking for alternative sources for financing, given interest rates and inflation, and that demand really drives us to have to make changes to remain sustainable. It's really that simple. So moving on from the borrowing rates, we got the repayment fees side. There was three main things here, concerns on social media that people voiced. And the first one was that they didn't have the information at hand for, where are the fees? How do I find out what's what? And it all came a bit like all of a sudden for you guys. And within 5 days of you guys saying that when we released these fees, we've actually already added a whole new screen to the Nexo app in repayment. So we've updated our UI. That screen, like it gives you tooltips, little info boxes, all sorts of little nuggets of information that you have for your repayment fees while you're actually making a repayment. So you can immediately see exactly what's going on and exactly what's going to be applied, how much the percentages are. And I think this is a big win for us. I think we've created like a great feedback loop between you guys, our community, and our UX, UI designers, our product people. We're really happy for your feedback. Thank you for giving it to us. And we really hope that like these upgrades actually help you have the information that you need. So yeah, this was live since last Friday. So it's been like 4 days now. But yeah, check it out. And I really hope that that gives you the information that you need when you need it, where you need it. The second concern a lot of people voiced was actually around the Nexo card, and it was kind of this amalgamation between the repayment fees and the borrowing rates. So if you're using the Nexo card in credit mode and you're concerned that, the repayment fee and everything, because you're constantly repaying credit the minute you take it out, we talked about this internally and we were just like, well, I think it's better in terms of like keeping the value of the Nexo card to use it then as a debit card. Because if you're constantly making repayments rather than, using it for ongoing credit a little bit longer term, I think debit mode serves you better. And then you also get up to 14% interest per annum on, the assets that remain in your savings wallet. So I think there's like a better use case for that and retaining the value of the card really that way. In terms of the people who are concerned about cashback and our borrowing rates, so it's worth noting that the cashback rates still remain higher than the daily borrowing rates that you have. So essentially, you're not at a loss, it's all good. So I just wanted to flag that, for people who are, basically relying on cashback. And then, like I said, if you're after the cashback for the credit mode, you're better off doing debit mode because you're getting interest. So really, it depends on how you're using the Nexo card to, get what you need. But yeah, otherwise, we're really pro improving our services. And we had a few questions as well about, I think these were specifically about why the new borrowing rates are being applied to old loans. And this is the reason we actually have like a month's notice before we implement them, just to give you guys a heads up if you want to make any adjustments to the way you're using our card and our services. But I just want to flag that our rates are the same for everybody. We don't want to prioritize any of our clients over others. You're all special to us. And that's why the rates have to be the same for everyone. That's why we're applying them to old and new loans, because otherwise there's a discrepancy and we don't want that. So yeah, that's it for the Nexo card part. And the last thing I kind of want to flag for people in terms of repayments is that we're actually going to be making repayments a little bit smoother by integrating more seamless USD, Euro, and GBP bank transfers so that you can top up a little bit easier. It's going to be smoother, it's going to be faster. And yeah, this little upgrade is coming around May 8th. I think that might be the exact date, but yeah, it's roughly then. So that's it for this question. And I think with that, we cover like a really large amount of your Slido questions, and we can jump into our community guest. So let's move on. Alrighty,
Hey
guys.
Maggie,
Hi, hi. Quick introduction. This is JD. He's one of our really long-term community members. I know he's been with us since, like, how long have you been with us, JD?
like a few months after you guys opened, so pretty much from the
Okay.
beginning. Yeah,
Oh, so actually, JD is then like an older Nexo community member than me because I've been around since like late 2019, but you've been around since the beginning.
quite a while. Yeah, I wish I got into the ICO, but yeah, only a few months
Oh, yeah.
afterwards. Yeah.
Well, guys,
Um,
as such a
yeah.
long-standing community member, I thought I would let JD quickly introduce himself in a couple words before he starts asking me questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very happy you've given me the chance to ask these questions today because there's a lot of questions the community just want to know about, and I know there's some things you can't talk about, but I'm gonna ask them and see if we can get any answers today, if that's good with you. Online, I go by JD. I know a lot of the Nixonians will know who I am. I'm in a subreddit. I'm in the Telegram groups, but for those that don't, I made Nexo.how. I've been in Nexo since nearly the beginning. Nexo, though, how is like a website with statistics and charts and question and answers. But to be honest, it's not really that needed nowadays because Nexo's really improved the help center in the last year and a half. So I will
Yeah.
say the website isn't really needed anymore. But yeah, to be honest, everyone's watching. They don't want to know about me. They want to know the questions. So if you want to just jump right into it, then yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. You can ask away.
Yeah, my main question was actually about the repayment, so I appreciate you answering that
Mhm.
before. The next one would have been on the last Ask Me Anything, you did mention a new membership tier for the Nexo platform.
Yeah.
Is there any chance you go into detail on what it will include? Any like maybe zero interest loans coming back, new tokenomics, what are the requirements, something like that?
Well, I can't go into too much detail, but I can give you more details than I gave last time
Okay.
because I have more information now. But basically, the new loyalty program is going to feature a new loyalty tier. That's what we're planning for the time being. But there's going to be three things that are basically going to be part of what makes up your loyalty tier that weren't a factor before. So the first one is going to be the allocation of Nexo tokens in your portfolio like before, although now it's going to matter if you have more than 10% of an allocation of Nexo tokens in your portfolio. So this is for all the people who have like a lot of Nexo tokens, way more than 10% out of their portfolio. And they are going to be rewarded for that because I think that's like actually really important. Like after all, those are huge holders who must really believe in the Nexo token if they're holding so much of it. So that's going to benefit you guys with the loyalty program. And then the second factor that is going to basically give you guys more of a little more oomph when you're working with Nexo, a little bit more bang for your buck, so to speak, is your overall balance. So if you're a really big holder, like if you have a lot of funds on Nexo, that's going to matter, that's going to boost you. And then the last thing is going to be the volumes that you generate on the exchange. So even if you don't have that big a balance or that big an allocation of Nexo tokens, if you trade frequently, if you use the Nexo platform, that's also going to contribute to giving you, so to speak, more loyalty points. So that's one thing. And then another thing I want to kind of tease out a little bit, because you said tokenomics. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with Nexonomics, and we've done a lot of things with that in the past. And there's the occasional question of, when is it coming back? And that we haven't done something big tokenomics wise in a while. But I just want to tell you guys that within days, we're launching one of the bigger campaigns. Like we haven't done something so big in quite a while in terms of tokenomics, and I'm really excited. So be on the hunt for it, and like hunt should be your keyword because it's going to be a big deal. And yeah, check out our socials and just be really in tune there because yeah, it's coming.
That's amazing. That's amazing. On a similar topic regarding the exchange, do you know what happened to Nexo Pro and it being delisted from the app stores? Will we see it like return soon or?
Mhm. Yeah, we have this question a lot in the community, so I'm not surprised that you're asking, JD. What's happening is I think people are confusing Nexo Pro and the Nexo Pro app. Yeah, you mentioned it yourself. It's been delisted from the stores,
Yeah.
but it's just the app. Nexo Pro is working smoothly on web. You just need to be using it on web. People who already had the app are like still able to use it, and it's just working just fine. It's just that we had to temporarily um, run some maintenance, so that's why the app isn't so to speak, available right now for new wannabe app users. So guys, just use the web version. It's working. Another thing to say here is that I know if you are an app user, like you don't do web at all, you can use the regular Nexo exchange in app because we've just added futures, which gives you, a whole bunch of basically automatic trading options. So you can, have stop losses, you can have take profit. You can do that on the Nexo app as well, the regular one.
Oh, that's amazing. Um, I see this next question get asked a lot in the community. Maybe you can share some updates on like statistics, how many users are on the platform, like the amount of loans, how many assets does Nexo have in its balance? I know you
Mhm.
said you're already working on like a replacement for the attestation, but and I imagine there's not much more you can share regarding that right now, but maybe some update on the statistics just to like put people at ease and to give like a more general idea of what's happening. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna start back to front because you went through like a bunch of like different statistics and
Sorry.
stuff. I'm gonna start with like the big one because you talked about, our update on the attestation, which is in the previous AMA. It's a big deal for us, and we discussed internally after that that it is good to give people some figures. So we've decided to share our current assets under management, which yeah, I mean, I guess I can do that now for everyone who's listening, and because you asked. So yeah, our assets under management currently remain quite consistent at around $7 billion, approximately, of course, bear in mind, guys, that it is a crypto company. We have crypto assets, and given market volatility, it fluctuates. But yeah, they remain consistent at around 7 billion. So that's the big stat. Like, I hope people are
Yeah.
happy that we're out there sharing it while we work on further transparency,
Hmm.
because it's really important for us for people to feel safe. And speaking of people, this is something I'm very passionate about. Oops, I just bumped my mic. We actually have 7 million users now. And I know people who are all over the internet, like, just like, is it 6 million or 7 million? Like, what happened? Why did you change it in some places? It's 7 million now. And it kind of fills my heart because I was there when we had our first million client, like 1 million clients, and it was such a big deal for us. And I just remember in the office how when it became 7 million, there were people who didn't even want to celebrate that, which, because they were just like, oh yeah, we make like 1 million new clients a day. And I was like, oh guys. So that was a cute one, a very, very cute Nexo moment. And I can't believe there's 7 million people using our
Yeah,
app right now.
that's
Otherwise,
amazing.
yeah, in terms of loans right now, that's another stat I can share. We've got, I think it's around 8 billion issued in credit since 2018 when we started. So that's still growing, and it's just been amazing. 70 plus supported cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I can't really think of any other stats to share with you off the top
Yeah,
of my head, but I
that
hope
that's
that
fantastic. That's amazing. I'm sure a lot of people like be put like to ease now with that information.
I hope
How
so.
about
Like,
how about a
if that
lighter
doesn't make people
topic?
calm,
Yeah, yeah. How about a lighter topic?
yes, please.
Just maybe you can share your insights on what it's like working in like one of Europe's leading fintech companies. A lot of the questions are always about Nexo in general, but I wanted to ask a question specifically, like, what's it like for you? Everyday, what does your everyday work look like? Do you enjoy it? Can you compare it to anything you've done before?
Um, I can't compare it to anything I've done before, to be honest, because before Nexo, I was in university and I was
Okay.
doing theater because I'm a theater major. So it was such a huge jump and such a huge learning process. What I can compare it to, though, is sports because it feels like being in regular training for weightlifting, flexibility, and cross-country running. Because you
Okay.
have to like, yeah, with the weightlifting, I say weightlifting because it's just like I have to constantly be upgrading, my power, my strength. So I have to constantly, be getting stronger. I say flexibility because it's such an insanely changeable, I guess, space. Everything keeps changing all the time. And it's really difficult to, not have to pivot every now and again. So you have to be very flexible. And then I say cross-country running because personally, I'm really in this for the long run. So, I want to be in this space 5, 10, 15 years from now. And it can be really exhausting. So you have to build up a lot of endurance. But on a more practical level, I guess my days are really mixed. I think I'm a bit of like an outlier because I wear many hats. Like in my role as PR manager, which is probably my most average day, I go to the office. And the cool thing about the office is that I've never really been in an institution or constantly in a room with so many highly motivated, ambitious, and really just people who are smarter than me. And it drives you, it's very difficult to just, sit back, relax, and just, work away at something when there's so much intellectual stimulation going around. And then there's a type 2 Maggie's day at work, which is when I'm MIA filming a podcast in a studio somewhere. So yeah, that's when I'm just not in the office. I'm, talking to people all over the industry, so filming stuff. That's a completely different kind of day, completely different kind of work. It's like I'm a different person. And then the last one is really when I'm doing AMAs, which is kind of like now, I usually do a half day at work, and then whenever it's time for the AMA, I just kind of like segue into that. So yeah, it's so varied with me. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I was going to use that word. It sounds very exciting to be honest. Do you know how many team are in Nexo approximately?
Sorry, like I think it cut out a bit. Can you repeat the question?
Do you know how many people are working at
Oh
Nexo
yeah,
now approximately?
we're about 600, but
Okay.
plus minus, I don't know exactly.
That's a lot of people though. You've grown a
It is
lot
a
in the
lot of
last few
people.
years.
Like
Yeah.
I was the 27th person they hired, so
Wow.
it's just vastly different. What it was when I started, when I was just this little desk in this empty space, and now there's like 600 people all over the world.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, what happened to Antoni? We haven't seen him for a while. Is he okay? How's the little kid? Is he doing well? We'd like to see
I
him
think
again on an AMA.
I'll invite him specially. Maybe the next
Yeah,
quarterly one I can do with him
yeah.
and a community guest. It would be fun. Yeah, he's doing great, actually. I think Antoni, like you guys know, he's a founder of like such a big company. Like Nexo is really growing, as you can probably tell by the stats I shared earlier. And yeah, I mean, he's really stepped into his role as, leading our legal teams, our communications teams, all of that, is mainly his responsibility with all of these people underneath him. So that's why he asked me to step in and do the AMA really, because I think it was a little bit more important for him to produce good work and to make sure that Nexo can produce amazing products all over the world for everybody rather than, be in front of the camera all the time. That said, he does really enjoy communications. So between work and spending time with his growing family, because they are growing and it's really cute, it's adorable. Um, yeah, between that, he does occasionally do interviews. I think last month he did two, like he did a Yahoo Finance and a CNBC that was live as well. So
Okay.
yeah, that was really good. Like you can see them, their March interviews. They're linked in Nexo's website in the media. But you can also check out more of his insights. We post them on Twitter because he does talk to media a lot.
Oh, it sounds good. It sounds good. The website's more, especially the help center. So everything
Mhm.
is there's news, there's the recaps and everything. It's improved a lot. So I'll check it out
Yeah.
later, to be honest, because I actually missed that one. On a serious topic, I'm not sure if you can share much about it, but I'll go ahead and ask anyway. A while back, it's pretty clear that a third party or some kind of platform that Nexo works with had their email list leaked, maybe, or I want to say leaked. I don't know what exactly happened, but a lot of users have been reporting that they're receiving emails directly targeting them as Nexo customers. Have you got any insights? Has your security team figured anything out? Is anything you can share?
Yeah, I'm actually happy to talk about this because it's just so important. So our teams actually double, triple, quadruple checked, that our systems have retained their integrity throughout this. So, I guess that's my really weird, fancy way of saying that I don't really think there wasn't a leak. There was no leak. But yeah, so shout out to our security teams because they were very vigilant when, I guess with the bull market right now, there's a lot more targeted attempts for phishing, and people should really be very, very cautious and very careful. And that's actually the reason we were really proactive when, this started happening. And leak or no leak, ultimately we had to do something for our clients and make sure we can protect them more, which is why we actually created anti-phishing code. which I know a lot of people maybe don't understand what that is. So anti-phishing code is a special feature where you can enable it and you have your own personal code, which will show up on every communication that you get via email through Nexo. So you'll know that that email is authentic to us. Also, we have started issuing quite a series of security communications, which you guys have been getting. And yeah, so use your anti-phishing code, use your whitelisting, have unique passwords, enable your 2FA. That's also something we've been talking a lot about. So we've actually really been trying to push our clients to keep themselves safe because ultimately with the bull run, there is more interest from bad actors and we don't want them to get to you. And then also remember that all communication that comes from us is going to be from an @nexo.com email address. So always check the sender. All this information is actually on the help center that JD's been talking so much about. We really have, we've really brushed that up. I'm very proud of that one because I use it too. Like I don't know everything and I will go sometimes to the help center and be like, oh. So yeah, another thing we did was recently we upgraded even some of our credentials with like in terms of cybersecurity standards. So we got the ISO 27017 and 27018, and that's in addition to having the ISO 27001, which we've had for quite a few years now. And then we also successfully underwent an SOC 2 Type 2 audit. So a lot of safety things going on for you guys there. We are communicating them in due time. But yeah, you can rest assured you're safe.
It's a lot of numbers, SOC, something, something,
It's
something.
all written up in the blogs, actually. Yeah, you can check our
Yeah,
blog. There's the most recent security blog post has all of them.
awesome. You know, I just wanted to mention this because Nexo has some really good community contests, like on the subreddit on Twitter, and I often see a lot of people miss them. So for anyone watching, you should kind of just join socials right now if you're not on the YouTube channel, on the Reddit, on Twitter, just subscribe to them now because they give away t-shirts, they give away Nexo tokens, and I often see that only like 50 people participate. It's like, come on, there's a 7 million customers and no one's
Don't you guys
joining
want
these.
free stuff? Come on.
Yeah. Do you know if there's any upcoming giveaways or contests? Do you have any insights?
I'm
Maybe a
gonna
sneak
go back
peek?
to my tease from earlier for the hunt. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that magic word. Once you like, you'll know when you see it. You can't miss it. It's gonna be really loud. But yeah, we do post most of the information on X or Twitter or whatever it's called now. Just so
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah, we
always
post it on our
changing.
channels, we send emails, we send push notifications, but really, I do share your thoughts, JD, about, the fact that I feel like a lot of people end up kind of missing out or being a little bit
Mm.
late to the game on some of our big promos and big campaigns. So what would you suggest in terms of like what should we do to help, people?
I'm not a community manager. Don't ask me. I
Oh
have
no.
no idea. I'm just a member of the community. I don't actually know how you'd manage something like that. Maybe sending out more emails. I'm not sure. That's
Oh,
why I'm saying it.
I'm
That's
gonna
why I'm
create a
saying it
short out
now.
of this and
Yeah.
send it to our direct team because
Yeah.
they're always like on our case about sending too many emails.
Oh, really? No, I don't think so. But that's why I wanted to mention it. I wanted to mention it today because I was like, seriously, it can't be, it doesn't make sense that there's so many customers and then the giveaways get maybe 100 people participating. It's not fair, you know?
Yeah, so you think emails
Um,
are like the best way,
I guess I'm not sure. To be honest, I don't read all of the Nexo emails. Like some of them I don't read myself, so
but you want
maybe I
more.
don't know. Maybe more giveaways would be good,
Yeah,
especially
well, there's
t-shirts.
a big one coming. T-shirts,
Yeah,
okay, that's
yeah.
good feedback.
Ev- Every talking about that, a lot of people keep asking merchandise. Have you ever considered opening a shop or like even the
Yeah,
small
we
piggy
have.
bank,
Oh God, the piggy bank again. I
the
said that I
piggy
would
bank?
find it during the last AMA, and I think I know where it is, but maybe next month I'll have it with me. But yeah, for the merch store, we have considered it, and I know that there has been like in the past conversations and even preparation around it. It's one of those things that isn't like a high priority because there's so much going on in the community. So
Mm.
yeah, the people who are running that are usually just kind of like would rather focus on the more important things in the community than, selling merch, which is really cool. I mean, I love my merch, but yeah,
It
there's
makes
other
sense.
more things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. I do have a few more questions. I really don't know if you're going to be able to tell me any answers.
Okay.
But I have to ask them because if I don't ask them, I know the community is going to be a bit upset with me. They're going to be like, "Why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask that?" So if there's anything you can share, feel free. If not, then just let me know. And
Oh.
yeah. Um, are there any updates regarding Nexo diving into like decentralized finance, DeFi? Because
Mm.
last year, I think it was last year, you released the Nexo wallet, and many members think like there's a lot of potential to having features such as earn and the borrow feature decentralized. So especially with like Nexo Tokenomics linked to that. So maybe something similar to Aave. Is there anything you guys are working on in the background? Anything you can share?
Well, I mean, the Nexo wallet, because you mentioned it, it's still around. It's, functioning. I have one. So
Mm.
yeah, if you're into non-custodial solutions, the wallet is still functioning just fine. But in terms of adding new features to it, new capabilities, it's kind of a low priority for us right now. So I don't really have an update that I know of currently that's, something really in the roadmap that I can tease out. And it's mostly just that there's so much demand for our other products that, we're focusing, our resource where there's a lot of demand.
Yeah, that makes sense to be honest. I guess moving on governance votes, I guess that's a similar topic where a
Yeah.
lot of people would like to know, is there anything coming back? Any more votes happening, or is it ever going to be used again?
I think, I mean, it's there and we're not going to remove it because, it could be used again. It's just that right now, I think we've established such a good community to product loop, I guess, that we haven't really felt the need to create a new governance vote, if you know what I mean. It's just like we have so much feedback coming in that we're able to implement directly, that we're working on that and it's machine that just works and makes things better. So we don't really need to like have this like big question of like this or that because people are telling us
Mm.
anyway.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense as well. I think the main concern of the members is more like tokenomics. They want to see Nexo token have more
Right.
utility. So, as you said, there's something coming up soon anyway, so that might just counterbalance it anyway. So,
Yeah, there's a really big tokenomics initiative coming up. That's the one thing. And then the other thing is the new loyalty, which I think is really going to boost the token's utility.
mm,
So yeah, I think there's many different ways to have utility for a token. But yeah, this isn't just, it's one that we have with the governance, but we're not necessarily pouring a lot of effort there because we've got the loyalty, the new campaign. So really eyes peeled for those.
awesome. Honestly, my last question, and I'm not sure if you can share anything, but like I think it was a year ago, Nexo announced one of the largest office building acquisitions in Bulgaria. Is there anything happening re regarding that? Do you have any sneak peek photos you could share? A lot of people are interested in that. So,
Right. That's really a weird thing to be interested in, honestly. That's my personal
well,
opinion.
but it's
It's
like what you
nice.
said earlier. It was a small company that has expanded a lot. So people would like to see how on earth things are working
Well,
in Nexo.
yeah, I mean, I've seen the new building.
Yeah.
It's an office building like any other. It's a nice one, granted, because I think it was never really our prerogative to basically make the biggest office building acquisition at the
Mm.
time in the country. But, it just happened. And I think it just happened because we have quite a big operational hub here in Bulgaria. So there's a lot of developers, a lot of people, working here. So I understand, why like management wanted to have like a really big building because there's a lot of talented devs in Bulgaria apparently. So I think that's like the reason. But yeah, I've seen the new building. I didn't take pictures of it because I was just like, it's just a building. So no, I don't really, I don't have any pictures that I can show
Okay,
right
fair
now.
enough.
But yeah,
I
it's
f-
a nice
mm,
building and it's just just Nexo being committed to its people working in a nice place.
cool. That's most of my questions, to be honest. I don't really have anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering those. I know some of them are pretty hard. I appreciate you taking the time and inviting me. Shout out to Rosen who sent me a message and was like, "Hey, would you like to go on the show?" I was like, "Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
will."
yeah. He's been such a help organizing these things. I was really, really happy that he helped me so much with like, just like, I've got a community guest for you.
Awesome. Yeah,
Well,
that's it
thank
for
you
me,
so
to
much,
be honest.
JD, for coming on. And yeah, so guys, that was our AMA for this month. I hope you found it informative. I hope you enjoyed our community guests, and we'll see you next month.
Take care.